Have you ever wondered why you're not happy, even when nothing is actually wrong? You feel not sad, not stressed, but just not quite okay. That feeling isn't random. It's your brain missing a few signals it needs to switch into a better state. Happiness isn't something your brain is constantly producing in the background. It comes from small signals from your body, your attention, and your actions that tell your brain it's safe. And there are 5 simple habits that can shift your state almost instantly. The third habit is the most effective. If you miss it, you will miss out on this entire video. The first habit is the face feedback switch. Happiness doesn't always start in your mind, but it starts in your face. Your brain doesn't just generate emotions and push them outward. It also reads your body to decide how you should feel. And your facial muscles are one of the loudest signals it listens to. When you have slight tension in your jaw or lowered eyebrows, these quietly tell your brain something is wrong. So it holds back the chemicals that produce happiness like dopamine and serotonin. You don't need to force a smile. Just soften your face. Relax your jaw. Lift your eyebrows slightly. Let the corners of your mouth ease upward naturally. That small shift sends your brain a clear signal that things are okay. And when your brain registers safety, it starts releasing the neurochemicals associated with calm, positivity, and happiness. This is one of the fastest ways to shift your emotional state. Now, when you combine this with the next habit in our list, happiness will be even more strong. The second habit is name it to tame it. When your brain can't explain what you're feeling, it treats it as a threat. That uncertainty keeps your stress response running and it crowds out the calm chemicals that make happiness possible. But the moment you put a clear label on the emotion, you turn chaos into something your brain can handle. When a negative emotion takes hold, it blocks happiness at the source, flooding the brain with stress chemicals. The fastest way to interrupt that is simple. You need to name what you're feeling. State what you're feeling. Label it. I feel anxious. I feel frustrated. I feel low. No analysis. Just label your thoughts objectively as a spectator. Labeling an emotion activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for clarity and control. And it reduces activity in the amygdala, which is driving the stress response. The intensity drops. The grip loosens. And your brain has space again to move toward a better state. But even when the intensity reduces, there's still something running underneath, the unexplained tension. Even when your mind starts to settle, your body can still hold on to tension. This leads us to habit number 3. That is the physiological sigh. Your body is one of the biggest blockers of happiness. When it's holding stress, your brain stays in survival mode, and survival mode is incompatible with feeling good. Shallow, irregular breathing is a key signal that keeps your body locked in tension. Most people don't notice it happening. There's one breathing pattern that works faster here than anything else. Inhale slowly through your nose. Then take a second, shorter inhale on top of it to fully inflate your lungs. Then exhale slowly through your mouth. This is a physiological sigh. It's the same pattern your body uses naturally to offload carbon dioxide buildup and reset the nervous system. It directly activates the parasympathetic nervous system, shifting your body out of a stress state and into one where happiness-related chemicals can actually be produced. You're not forcing calm. You're giving your brain the biological signal it needs to let happiness back in. So now your body is calmer, but your brain still needs a reason to move forward. For this, you need to implement habit number 4, that is, get micro wins. Dopamine is one of the primary chemicals behind happiness, and your brain releases it in response to progress, not achievement. You have to trigger the dopamine release first. Do something small, something that takes under 10 seconds. Sit up straight. Clear one item from your desk. Check off the smallest task on your list. Your brain registers that as forward movement and releases a small hit of dopamine. That dopamine creates a subtle but real lift in mood, energy, and focus, which makes the next action easier, which releases more dopamine. Happiness isn't waiting for something big to happen. It's built from these small neurochemical wins stacked together. Now, the next habit is the one that most people underestimate, but it's quietly controlling everything else. It is attention reset. It's a fact that your brain can't be happy about the present if it's stuck processing the past or simulating the future. When you ruminate and replay your problems, imagining worst cases and rerunning old regrets, it activates the same stress response as real threats. It keeps cortisol elevated and blocks the conditions needed for happiness. The fix isn't positive thinking. It's redirecting attention to what's real and immediate. Use the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding method. You need to name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can physically feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This forces your brain out of abstract rumination into present moment sensory input, which is where happiness actually lives. Now imagine using all these habits together in a single moment. Soften your face, name your emotion, take a physiological sigh, create a micro win, ground your attention in the present so that rumination stops, and your brain can actually feel good. In under a minute, the internal conditions for happiness are restored. Your life didn't change. Your circumstances didn't change. But the signals your brain is reading changed completely. Happiness isn't a mood you stumble into. It's a biological state your brain is designed to produce, and now you know exactly how to trigger it.